Hello, I'm Jeremy Solon, co-owner of Tapped Maple Syrup. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Tapped into Innovation and Collaboration. It's a series exploring how small business owners are adapting to and innovating in response to COVID-19 and the related economic impacts. All of the folks that we're talking with are partners of Tapped in one way or another. They use our maple syrup. We do collaborative projects. They sell our maple syrup. So partner of ours in one way or another. And it's an amazing group of people and businesses that we've been able to work with. So this series is about sharing their experiences and their strategies and their activities in adapting to our current situation. So I hope you enjoy it. So we're here with Layne Cozzolino, one of the co-founders of Siren Shrub company. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
Excited to get to talk to you. Yeah. So to start out with, just tell me a little bit about you and Siren Shrub company.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, my name's Layne, and I co-founded Siren Shrub company with my good friend Mindy McCord. Originally, I started drinking shrub as a replacement for alcohol when I was pregnant, and they were a really fun, like, kind of tradition to come home and have something to mix and have for the evening while my husband was drinking whatever he was drinking. And so, but Mindy and I had always done lots of kitchen projects together and had a love of food and all of its form. And so while I was pregnant, she just started busting out all sorts of different shrub flavors, and we started experimenting with them with an intention to sell them at a winter farmer's market. And so we started, or we thought we were going to do that, and then it ended up that there was a little bit of confusion around some of the licensing and things, so we didn't. So we just started taking them to parties and events and giving people free samples to see what they thought, and people liked it, and it was something interesting and unique and different. And shrub, just for people that don't know, is a concentrate that's typically a vinegar base that is a marriage of fruit and sugar that creates a syrup, and then it's added to vinegar. And then that concentrate you use to make cocktails or mocktails, or you can just drink it with sparkling water. And yeah, so
when did you all officially start as a business?
So we actually, I'm pretty sure it's either today or tomorrow that we were registered with the with the IRS 2 years ago, so 2018, and then the product didn't come onto market until August of 2018.
Okay, so you're year and a half in with sales. Awesome. Yeah. So obviously the focus of our discussion in this is kind of the adaptations that you're making given COVID-19 and the economic impacts of that. So how have you shifted your business or what collaborations are you part of right now in response to that?
Yeah, so you know, Jeremy, but other people might not know, I left my full-time job that I was at for 8.5 years in October, and with the intention to grow Siren Shrub to be a business that could support me and then hopefully other employees and higher scale production. And so we were, you know, and as you just mentioned, we're pretty new at this, and so we got our online store up and running in January of 2019, but didn't really start pushing sales in that until about probably September or October. And that's not true, sorry. We got our website up in January of 2019, and then didn't start the store sales until about August. And so we were pretty new to selling via e-commerce, but we're trying different things and starting to do some ads and on Facebook and Instagram, and not knowing at all what we were doing and not even being very successful at that at all, but just trying different things because that's how you learn, right? And so we had that capacity, which I'm really glad we had, because our focus for 2020 was wholesale and events and some online. And when we entered, or when COVID entered the scene, I think 66% of our sales were wholesale, 17% were online, and the other percent were events. But we had scheduled events. I think we were going to be at like 45 events or something. And we were getting into all these different spaces that we were so excited about in communities that were going to be new to us. And so that's not happening. So we turned to online. We really looked at our target demographic and who we are trying to reach with our product, and really tried to hone in some of our advertising in that regard, and it has helped. We also now have some online sales to like redirect back. We've been collecting email addresses for our newsletter for the whole time we've been in business, so we have a base there, which I think is really valuable, because we have people that are interested in our company, interested enough to want to hear from us via email. So that's been nice to be able to communicate in that regard. And then as far as collaborations, so a couple of weeks ago, we started Cocktails in Place with you guys and other partners. So Zach from Copper and Pines had an idea of doing a weekly recipe video series, and so we launched that with Great Northern Distilling and Northern Oasis Spirits, Tapped Maple Syrup, Siren Shrub, Copper and Pines, and then we also decided on another collaboration as a part of that with cocktail kits to go with it, so that there was an actual way to sell our products. And so the Bottle Stop in Stevens Point has been a partner with that. So we have a rotating series of kits that are available. Well, one rotates the theme every week, and then the other ones are just recommended by the brand. So that's been fun.
Yeah. What do you? There's a lot of shifting in a short time, but what have you? Is there anything that surprised you or that you found particularly effective, kind of emerging out of those efforts?
So I think that another thing that we did were our virtual happy hours. Sorry, for a few weeks.
No, that's good.
And so the reason I thought about that right now is because we put those on hold just to kind of challenge ourselves to think about how they could be a little bit more effective. And I think some of the strategy with the Bottle Stop, with the cocktail kits, the first couple of weeks I think went really well. I haven't had an update from you. Have you from Matt as to whether they've slowed down or not? We did boost a post for those kits, and so initially I think that's why the Spring in Your Step was selling, was because it was getting in front of people, and we did it very specifically to the Stevens Point audience, for people who lived here who liked Siren Shrub. And so that was a good kind of proof of concept, I guess, in a boosting of a post to a really direct audience. We also, though, I think, have had some disappointment in our video posts, as they're not gaining enough traction, and kind of thinking about the algorithms and what that looks like right now, as far as when to post and when not to post, and I don't have any answers for that, honestly, and we're on a schedule, so we can't change the day we're posting to see if that makes any difference.
That part's tough. I mean, I think we got lucky there, I think, in some ways, just because of the day we ended up on, but that seems to me there's some major kind of restrictions or downfalls of particular days that seem to be appearing with them. But
totally. And I mean, and I'm not saying ego wise, we would have been great on a different day, but there just felt like some, especially the first week, it was really slow. And the second week we did post in the morning instead of the later afternoon, into the evening. And so, and did have more success that way. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of changes. But no matter what, I feel like it's good practice for us to be doing that. And these will live on, you know, and for ways people can use our products. And I think one of the things that, you know, we experience is like people buy from people, right? And people that they like and people that they, you know, want to support. And when you can't get in front of people, it's really hard, especially with Shrub, when nobody knows what the heck it is. You know, and even all these events, even if they come back, we can't sample it. And that is like entirely everything that our business depends on is people trying it. Because
I mean, I think one of the cool things about cocktails and mocktails is that it in some ways is an easier entry, you know, because people are at least have had a cocktail that's something similar to what we've been making, that all of us have made in some way. So to add a shrub in, or add maple syrup in our case, it's easy for them to say like, oh, I can do that on my own. I can try it at least. And then that opens things up. So I think that's been really effective in that way. But yeah, that part's hard. The sampling part. And even, I think even this will kind of be a segue into the next question of what does the future look like. But one of the things I've been thinking about is I don't think sampling is going to return in any real way, even when things open back up. Like that's not going to be what people are interested in, kind of hand to hand getting something from someone. And so that's going to be a real challenge for a lot of us. But so, I mean, how do you see things changing in the future? What do you see kind of strategies for Siren moving forward? Yeah, nice. Yeah, put that back up there.
So we did a trial just this week on Monday. We launched our first ever sparkling shrub. So it's the tart cherry in a can mixed with water and bubbles. And we've been wanting to do this forever. So it's such an easier way for someone to experience Shrub than asking them to buy this $20 bottle of something that they've never heard of to do this thing with. It's like, well, crack this open and see what you think. And it was $3 and you don't have to free, you know, like whatever. If you don't like it, then you don't have to ever buy it again.
Right. Which won't happen, but the option's there, right?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to, be hooked. Yeah. But it's just, especially in the no sampling zone.
Yeah.
This, you know, it's like, they can open it, they can do whatever, you know, and they then experience what Shrub is like in a drink format. Yeah. Because then, you know, potentially they can buy that concentrate and do it themselves. I can talk to them about how you made this. I mean, it's like, it's really unadulterated. It's just water, bubbles, and the Shrub. So it's not masked with other things. And so, so that feels like a really important thing for us. But that's not an easy thing either, because right now, like we work with a co-packer, and they're shut down. They don't have to be, they are an essential business, but they don't have enough volume to afford to keep their staff on right now. So they need more businesses to be ready to pump out some product. And so we're in line for that. But we have rhubarb and basil production both coming up, and they're seasonal, and we have to do them when they're here.
Right.
And so one of the things that we're going to do is put them all in, we're going to make everything but not bottle it in concentrate bottles. We're going to put it all into barrels and then run bottles of concentrate or run cans of Shrub as the market, to see what the market tells us and then what to do in that regard. But yeah, I mean,
flexibility.
Yeah, I think you're totally right that, I mean, my husband recently said his bet's no Super Bowl this next year. And I was like, oh my God, right. Like I hadn't even thought about that. And he's like, I don't see it happening. And I'm like, wow, you know, just
lots of changes.
Those like longer term where you're like, oh, I haven't even thought about next January. But I mean, if we're not gathering, what does that look like? I've seen some places, and not to go off on a tangent, but I mean, I've even seen companies giving away product online for the cost of shipping.
Yeah.
Like, we'll send you 2 cans of Shrub if you just pay us for shipping just
Right.
so you can try it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
oh my God. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be lots of different ways that we have to approach getting people. Yeah. I mean, and maybe we need to create some smaller bottles. We only have the 16 ounce. You have, you
Yeah.
have several different sizes. So people can maybe,
Right.
try something that they wouldn't have because they can buy it in a little bit smaller format. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are all great points. Do you, maybe last follow-up question, do you think the kind of, I know one of the things that about the bottled or canned Shrub is just the ease of it. Do you see other kind of products or kind of strategies of making Shrub, your product, easier to buy in your future? Like, do you see the kits as a strategy for that, or any other things that you're thinking about putting together that are just kind of, get shipped to your house and make it easy to do whatever they want to do with them?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So, so some of the strategies are some of the things that that like even Cocktails in Places kind of opened up is, there's subscription boxes, cocktail kits, like things like that online right now, and we have a good culture, even a good collaborative beverage community around Wisconsin that are there opportunities. So we, along with Tapped, have started reaching out to partners to see if we could put together some boxes that could get shipped straight from our office here. I'm the only one that's here, so no one else enters, no one else exits. Just, well, the dog, she's here with me, but so that I could just be shipping out and people could be placing orders for online. So I think that there are additional potentials with that, and subscription models generally, trying to get a little bit better idea of people's consumption, especially like we started doing that with the Shrub, and that's been slower, and but I think that the ready to drink, there's more potential for the subscription model even. So yeah, so I think that those are some cool opportunities as well. Yeah, thanks. I forgot that.
Yeah, well, that's good. Awesome. Well, cool. I think we'll wrap up there. But thanks for your thoughts, and for continuing to be creative and an awesome partner of Tapped. We love getting to work with you. So thanks for sharing.
Same. Thanks, Jeremy.